At once.
You have done far more than I could have hoped. You have already reversed our fortunes not once, but twice now. You have my gratitude. I think our position here is secure for at least a 10-day, and I need you to go on a task of some urgency. I need you to rendezvous with the Neverwinter forces. They still have not arrived, and they may need assistance. Tell them of our situation here, and all we have discovered about the actions of the Horde in this region. Once you meet up with the Neverwinter forces, join with them and see what can be done to put an end to this threat to the 10 towns. We cannot leave any loose ends. Whatever creature or creatures are behind this, they must be stopped. I will see to it that you are well compensated for your efforts. Oswald believes he can find them in his airship. It is moored just north of here, and I've told him to expect you. Farewell, and may good fortunes guide your efforts.
Yes, Ilhares.
How can I serve? It shall be done. Forward. Agreed.
Oh, my apologies. I didn't see you standing there. What can I do for you? Or was there something I was supposed to do for you? Introductions, of course, introductions. Sometimes the ideas will start rattling around in my head, and I'll wake up to find I'm somewhere else, or talking to someone else. My name's Fiddlebender. Oswald, that is. Well, Fiddlebender's my last name. My first name is Oswald, so it's Oswald Fiddlebender. A pleasure to meet you. Ship? Oh, you mean this one here? You mean my airship? Yes, yes, indeed, it's mine. Beautiful, isn't it? Didn't know which ship you meant at first, for there are many common ships about, but this one is quite extraordinary. Most ships travel upon the water. This one, however, travels upon the air. Indeed it does. It was wondrous. Well, before it crashed in Targos. I flew it all the way from Kuldahar, you know. Why, I live in Kuldahar with my niece, Marilee. I set up shop there after I landed in town. Well, crashed, really, but that's neither here nor there. There's an awful lot of mountains around Kuldahar. Very confusing to fly through, or around. It's hard to steer the ship when I'm in the lab, I've discovered. Oh, didn't I tell you? But I must have. Why, I make potions. I mean, well, among other things, I'm an inventor. I make things. And potions. Did I say that? Welcome back. Something I can help you with? A potion to put some color in your cheeks, perhaps? Oh, you'll have to wait. There's another group I have to take to the Western Pass first, to meet up with the Neverwinter forces, you know. Are you sure? Well, you know, you must be. I'm quite sure Lord Ulbrec wouldn't make a mistake like that. Are you ready to leave now? I can cast off immediately if you like. You know, and I'm saying this simply because, well, it could happen, but we might not be able to come back to Targos for some time. Yes, as in not at all. So I wouldn't leave anything behind. Bring everything you need, especially warm cloaks. Very cold in the Western Pass, as I understand it. Well, you know, accidents happen, and the wind's awfully strong. In any event, I just wanted to make sure you were ready, and had everything, in case we never come back. To Targos, that is.
As the plains turned into hills, the wind turned gale. Uncle had seen storms appear quickly, but this was like a bolt from an angry god. He managed to evade what he believed was the worst of the storm by flying low. He then beheld a wall of ice in the Western Pass. Wild men whipped their hands in magical patterns atop the frozen barrier. My uncle gasped when he heard the balloon tear above him, and he told me what frightened him most before the ship crashed that day. It was the silence, he said. As the ship fell, the casters froze on the wall, and the storm abated. There was no sound and no motion, just the face of Faerun rising to meet him. In all the years that Uncle Oswald flew his airship, I can't honestly say he had more successful landings than crashes, but even he could not have known the difficulties that lay ahead of him in the Western Pass of the spine of the world. Adventurers aboard, the flight from Targos was accompanied by a flurry of sound and motion from the winter thrushes that had once again perched on the roofs of the aching town. All along the tundra, pilot and passengers watched the corpse cloth flutter in the winter wind. It was a whispering herald of things to come. As the plains turned into hills, the wind turned into a gale. Uncle had seen storms appear quickly, but the one that swept down from the spine of the world was like a bolt from an angry god. He managed to evade what he believed was the worst of the storms as he flew low over the foothills and told the adventurers to take cover. When Uncle's eyes peered out from the melting snow rushing across the deck, he beheld a wall of ice in the canyon of stone that was the Western Pass. wild women whipped their hands in magical patterns on top of the frozen barrier, their snow-white robes poorly covering rime-armored flesh. My uncle gasped when he heard the balloon pop and tear above him. He wouldn't talk about it for years after, but he eventually told me what frightened him most before the ship crashed into the foothills. It was the silence, he said. When the ship fell, the wild women relaxed and froze on the wall. The storm abated in a heartbeat. There was no sound, no motion, but the face of Faerun rising to meet him.
Yes, Ilhares.
You have need of no small task.
What is it? Elken Ulu Tafir.
How can I help? How can I forward?
Your desire?
Yes?
How may I be of assistance, Ilhares? I shall do my best.
Huh? What? Oh, pardon me. I must have fallen asleep again. Phew, good thing we weren't flying at the time. Thank you. It was simply beautiful. The trance, I mean, not the crash. I was a baby kraken swimming through river clouds of soft molten gemstone. Those episodes are rare, but have happened before. Well, usually right after a crash. Yes, worse than ever before. And that maelstrom of ice, my goodness! We never had a chance. There certainly is. I've fashioned a spell of my own to mend the ship. Oswald's mending, I call it. Quite catchy, I think. Although she's never been quite this naked before. Question is, can I still repair her? Of course I can. I'll need to find more components, though, and guard my ship, or what's left of it. Say, I could guard the ship while you retrieved my spell's components. I wrote them all down in that book over there. Interested?
speak your mind. At once. Your command? I am here.